It's been 3 years since her baby disappeared without a trace, and this morning the verdict is in. The jury could not agree on the kidnapping charge against Elizabeth Johnson, but she was convicted on unlawful imprisonment, along with 2 other charges. ABC 15's Kimberly Chang is live in Chandler now with her defense attorney, Mark Victor. And Kimberly, some people surprised by this decision, including Johnson herself, we understand.
Yeah, Connie, good morning. The first words out of Elizabeth Johnson's mouth as they were reading that verdict, "I'm shocked." So I'm going to walk over here to Mark Victor, her defense attorney. Now, the jury could not find her guilty of kidnapping, but they found her guilty on those lesser charges, unlawful imprisonment and custodial interference charges. A victory, I'm sure, for your side of the defense team here. You've talked to Elizabeth Johnson since then. What was her reaction?
Well, Elizabeth was, I would call her cautiously optimistic. I mean, I had told her from the beginning that I didn't think this was a kidnapping case, and I told her that this case was going to come down to whether or not the jury could actually do their job and just focus on the elements of the crime, or if they would just get swept away by the emotion of the case. And that's why I spent so much time on that in closing argument in my case. And I think, frankly, this verdict is a validation of our jury system. I think it's a good day for the justice system. I think it's a good day, frankly, for America in our system of justice. I think they did the right thing here.
Now, I know you said yesterday that you were hoping that she would be released, but that's not the case now. So what is she facing as far as sentencing goes?
Well, in terms of the release, it was, of course, our position that the judge should have acted right then and there. I mean, she has $1 million cash-only bond, and now she's sitting in jail on a case that is probation eligible right now. And so I think that's an unconstitutional bond. Now, the judge didn't say it wasn't. He just simply said, hey, look, I'm going to give the state time to respond, which is indeed what our rules say. They say the state gets 10 days to respond. I wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive than that and take some action. He didn't do it. He did set it for a hearing, and that's what we're coming into court on at the next time.
Now, if she had been convicted of the kidnapping charge, the most serious charge against her, she could have faced up to 24 years in prison. Now that they found her guilty on these lesser charges, how much time is she looking at?
Yeah, it's important to understand what happened here. I mean, that kidnapping charge carried with it a dangerous crimes against children allegation, which, if found, that would have been mandatory prison, mandatory flat time, no less than 10, no more than 24, presumptive 17. So that's a big deal. With what the jury did, she's probation eligible on a Class 6 felony, which means that she's likely to get probation. Even if she doesn't, the presumptive term is 1 year. We're expecting either probation or time served, but we won't be taking anything for granted. We'll be in there fighting hard at sentencing still.
Right, because she's been in jail already for about 2.5 years now. Now, I got to ask you, Mark, you know, a lot of people surprised by this verdict because, you know, at some point, Gabriel's body was never found. They don't know what happened to her child, and some people would say that she should have been charged with murder, which she was not. What do you say to that? Do you think that there will ever be a murder charge against her?
I don't think so, and I think if Texas or Arizona brought that kind of a charge, I think that it would fall woefully short. I think it would be unjust even to bring that charge because really there isn't any kind of substantial evidence whatsoever that any harm was done to the baby. And if you remember, there was a child abuse charge in this case on the day that I got involved in the case, and we got that charge dismissed because there isn't even evidence of any kind of abuse here. So I think that would be unjust, unfair, a violation of due process, and I don't expect that kind of charge.
All right, and the next hearing is set for?
November 1st.
All right, thank you very much, Mark, for joining us this morning. So, Connie, you heard it, November 1st, that's when we should find out the next step in this court case. Back to you.
A lot of people still wanting to know where that baby is. Kim, thanks for the latest there from Mark Victor. All right.